got volume somewhere.
Let the spring training tour begin.
Hold on.
Wow.
You got to stop. Spring training first day. Volume on one of the computers, Mark, has completely screwed us up, so we got to wait a second here.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone just wait. We're only on television. No. You let me know.
It's fine.
You let me know.
It's
You're
in
the director.
Stereo. It's fine. It's in stereo, so I can hear myself and Kratz.
I can hear you. You can hear me.
Yes.
Can you hear me, AJ?
One. It's this one, Mark, over here.
This is really fun. See, this is what we'll do. Outside in Sarasota, by the way. I'm going to talk to everyone else. You guys let me know when you want to.
No, we're good. We can still hear
good?
you. No,
yeah,
okay.
We
can hear you. It's just in stereo because the computer has all the volume going.
By
the way, this is the exact same place I sat last year, but now Mark decided to spend $20 on a tent so I don't get melanoma from the sun, even though it's not very sunny today.
Wow. We're upgrading. See? Season 3 of Foul Territory. A couple things to point out before we start. Number one, and most importantly, do you notice anything different right now? AJ or Kratz, do you notice anything differently in your life?
New graphics on the monitor.
Yes. A lot of new graphics. You got the smoke behind you. You've got those outlined bars gone. A little smooth picture, right? On the right and the left. Remember we had a red outline on the box?
Not anymore.
No, you don't even remember that. Okay. And then the nameplates. Did you like the nameplates? Okay. Big leagues. Okay. Tons and tons of work behind the scenes being done to make it happen. So I think it's fire. On the topic of smoke, did Grayson Rodriguez not want to handle the AJ Pierzynski smoke?
You know what?
No.
So I texted him yesterday. I was just looking through this. And I said, "Are you pitching tomorrow?" Meaning today. And he said, "No, I pitched yesterday, but I'll still be there to see you. Don't worry." And I said, "So you aren't going to let me take you deep?" And he said, "You couldn't take me deep if I threw with my left arm." And then I said, "Well, I ain't scared." And then I got an LMAO for all the people out there that know what that means. And that's it. And then he shut it down. But I was ready. The reason I asked him was I was like, do I need to bring a helmet? Do I need to bring an elbow guard? Do I need to bring a bat? Do I need to bring batting gloves? Spikes? Do I need to dig in with some spikes? But he said he's not throwing today. So, and then it's rain. So, I mean, he had a lot of excuses.
You should challenge him and be like, "It's okay. I'll come back. You let me know which day and I'll come back with all my gear."
Not the traffic that AJ went through.
Yeah.
Not a traffic he's going through that traffic to hit a dinger off of Grayson Rodriguez.
Although it might be worth it.
It would
be worth it for that matchup. Okay, so anyway, we're at Orioles camp today. We're in Sarasota, or Kratz and AJ are. If you're listening to us later on, we will talk to some O's players later in the show. But let's start with some spring training action. So it's a segment that we haven't seen in a minute, but it's coming back. It's better than box scores. It's us telling you about games and what you really need to know. So from the weekend, we had debuts, which was fun. I mean, first off, Kratz, your favorite team, the New York Mets, welcome Juan Soto to the picture, and he homers in his first game. How about it?
I mean, spring training homers do not matter, but that's pretty cool. Like, it's pretty cool. We'll talk later about what Braggy did to Alex Bregman, but, I mean, they were packing it out. They were packing it out in St. Lucia.
Yeah, St. Lucia. Yeah, AJ, it was the second biggest opening day in spring training in Port St. Lucie. They had 7,394 fans there. I mean, they were just shy of the record from 2015 when it was Matt Harvey returning. He was facing David Price and Syndergaard was coming out of the bullpen. So pretty fair to say that Mets fans are pumped. And yes, spring training results mean just about nothing, especially for veterans, but it is cool to welcome to the crowd with a homer instead of, if Soto went 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. Still an entertainment business, fun experience.
He wasn't going to get 4 at-bats, so he didn't have to worry about that.
0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, true.
Yeah, I mean, people just wanted to see him in Mets gear. They just wanted to see him out there. So, yeah, it was cool that he hit a home run. But who was it we had on the other day that said Buck? I love Buck. When Buck said the most 2 overrated months are spring training and September call-ups, I couldn't agree more. I've told people for years, you don't want to know how to be a great spring training hitter? you swing at the first pitch, especially early in spring training, because most of the time you're getting heaters. Juan Soto didn't miss it. Good for him. Bregman didn't miss him. Good for them. But, yeah, it was cool. It was a cool moment when he ran out there. The Mets fans are super excited. Juan Soto's super excited. And as Aaron Judge said, it seems like the place he wanted to be, and now he's there.
Mm-hmm. Good call. Yeah, and like Kratz said, Bregman also had a day in his first game. He homered. I think he had a single and a double as well. But it was pretty cool. MLB tweeted, whoever was running that account, big Bregman homer. I'm like, let's replace big with fun Bregman homer, not big Bregman homer. I hope that is not considered a big Bregman homer for his Red Sox tenure. So we'll see. Anyway, this to me is bigger. Shohei Ohtani's rehab and the progression here. So he took another step. He touched 95, 25 pitch bullpen session this weekend. He added some cutters. We're going to obsess and overanalyze this, AJ, just because of the way that someone has to come back from something that we've never seen. I say that not just because it's Shohei Ohtani and he's the best player on the planet, but this is a second major elbow surgery, a recovery while he's hitting. I just think it's a cool science experiment to follow.
I agree. But again, it was a bullpen. I need to see him face a big league hitter. I want to see him face Adley Rutschman, who just sat down next to us, because honestly, like, I can go out there and throw a bullpen. I can't throw 95, but I could probably hit 85, put a little cut on it, and break some bats. But
yeah, that's what we're looking for.
But yeah, listen, it's cool that he's coming back. I just want to see how they're going to use him, because how many man rotation are they going through? How often is he going to pitch? What's it going to do to his bat? Because let's not forget, he went 50-50 on an all-time. Hey, there's my buddy that wouldn't face me today. There's Scaredy Cat right there.
We have a lot of people
right there.
coming in.
We got a lot of people, but there's Grayson. Grayson, the people want to know why you're scared. We'll talk later.
We're talking about Ohtani
We're
right
talking
now.
about
so
a real
don't worry
pitcher,
about it.
Shohei. Okay, so sorry, he can hit too.
Ohtani's stuff, like a bullpen matters. A bullpen matters,
but
for a guy like this. What is it going to do to his hitting? We don't know. I think it's just going to slow down his base stealing. That's the biggest thing.
yeah,
because you would see at the end
last year. Remember?
Yes, but I think you would see at the end of his starts. I remember he hit a triple the one time, partway through the season with the Angels, and he hit a triple, and he freaking, like, as he was coming into third, it was the seventh inning, and he just, like, it just didn't seem like he had the same gait. I mean, we could ask Grayson if he isn't too scared to come on the camera, like, about what your legs feel like in the seventh inning, because then you got to go steal bases. You steal bases, it's a whole nother level. I stole one in my career, so that's it.
There you go. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to step aside for a moment, and then we'll get ready to start welcoming your favorite Baltimore Orioles players to FT. Be right back, FT fam.
You playing today? You have a 2-minute break. You playing today?
Yeah.
Yes, I conducted a bunch of interviews for Fox earlier this week that will be put together later in the season when we have the Giants on Fox. And in those conversations, that's what Posey said to me. Hey, when I went after this guy, it wasn't simply to be the father figure to the staff. It was because I believe he can be Justin Verlander, maybe not the Justin Verlander of 2006 or even 2022 or whatever, but someone who is really, really good. And Verlander clearly believes that as well. And so far, it's early, I know, but he seems to be recovered from his neck and shoulder problems from last year. He's feeling good about himself. And his goal still is 300 wins. And I don't know that he'll get there. He's 38 shy. But if there's ever a guy you want to bet on, it's him. And he keeps himself in great shape. He told me he wants to pitch until he's 45. He just turned 42 yesterday. It's not a set goal or anything like that, but he always idolized Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan pitched until he was 46. So with Verlander, guys, I just find him so fascinating. He has such a history in the game. He has made so much history in the game. And to see him now, and Max Scherzer the same, and with Toronto, to see these guys trying again.
It's 1 year, $5 million for Andrew Heaney to join the Pittsburgh Pirates. They're still spending a little bit of money right now. What was your thought on that signing, and just any overall thoughts on the Pirates, as we haven't talked about them in a minute?
Just looking at it from Heaney's perspective, Obviously, the money's not where he would have wanted it to be. I would think he would have wanted somewhere in the $10 million range. He's a pretty accomplished pitcher in his own way. He's not an ace, I get it, but he is someone that you would have thought in a market that originally was quite hot for starting pitchers might have done better. But what's interesting about this to me is he gets to join a rotation that is pretty good, right? Jerry Jones, Mitch Keller, and Paul Skeens. So now you add Heaney to that, and for the Pirates, that's a pretty formidable group. Now, I still question their offense. Their big offensive addition, Spencer Horwitz, is already hurt. They didn't really do much else. I don't like the way the team is run, and we've all talked about that for years now. But this signing at that price should be pretty good for them.
That's my playlist. I made that last year.
Manny, did you put the Morgan?
Here we go. We got the guy. We got one of the Orioles guys, at least. Adley Rutschman, who joined us last time. Catcher, by the way. So there's 3 catchers here. Well, 2.5. Two and a half. But
You need 2 starters. You can have a backup. You can have a third string guy, just in case
the
you guys
last time
didn't
he
pinch
was on,
run.
I wasn't here, so I missed the whole conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited to get to talk to you. You've caught in a game yet? Spring training?
No,
Today's your first.
Today's day one.
So how sore are you going to be tomorrow?
I don't know. I'm curious. I think I'm in pretty good shape right now.
How many
so
bullpens have you caught?
I've got a decent amount.
Are you
Stop.
the
Stop.
Kratz guy that
Yeah,
I
stop.
catch one a week?
No,
then
no.
you're
We're catching bullpens or lives every day.
Okay.
You've caught a lot. Have you caught more than 2 in a day?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, okay. So
No,
it's not a lot.
This is different than spring training 4 years ago.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
I was
You're
driving back and forth between here and Twin Lake.
there.
Oh,
You
you guys
go.
still have Twin Lakes?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's where the minor leaguers are?
Yeah.
They still have the dugouts where the bench is on the ground? Or they improved it to where they have extra metal benches?
No, they're metal.
So when I played in Twin Lakes in the Gulf Coast League 30 years ago, the bench was a board on the ground. It was like this high, so you literally sat on the ground.
Like a shoebox.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, this place is so nice." And the Orioles were in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
So they would bus back and forth between Fort Lauderdale and Sarasota.
Yeah. No, they got metal benches now. So.
Wow, man, you guys are moving up.
Do they have the cage that's in the locker room still for the minor leaguers? Or did they change that?
No, they have cages now. I haven't been over there.
Okay, right.
Sorry. I've been over there in years. Sorry.
Haven't been to minor
Right
league
from
camp
college
in
to the
like
big leagues.
a minute. What are you guys eating over there? Eggs and rice for every breakfast? Oh, and applesauce? You got big league peanut butter packs over here. You got sparkling water, sugar-free gum.
All the Topo Chicos.
Chicos. I love, but no, what is the focus for you as far as you come in each year? You said I've been over there in 4 years. We joke about it, but you're a leader for this team. What is the focus for you at this point in spring training for this team?
I think for me, just as a catcher, especially for the new pitchers that are coming in, trying to get as comfortable with them as possible is definitely at the forefront of what we're trying to do. Seeing what the other guys did during the offseason, any new pitches they got, how they want to use them, kind of just feeling how those new pitches play to guys as we see them. But that's kind of the main thing that we focus on, and honestly, just doing as much team stuff as possible to get guys back to being the team again. And
Like what? What do you guys do? Because when we're talking about Cody Ashe, your new hitting coach, your esteemed hitting coach, is probably
Wait, is this a hitting coach?
yeah.
he's esteemed. He's esteemed. I still see him as a 22-year-old because that's when I played with him.
Yeah.
We were talking about how we did Phillies golf outing. Oh, he wants you to talk into that.
No, we're just going to share.
We're going to improv
Yeah. This is what
So-
happens when you do live TV.
when it's windy and rainy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we did a golf outing. Every year we would do a golf outing for everybody in big league camp. They have a draft, dudes would play, and it was big prizes, everything. What do you guys do? What are you guys going to do?
So it varies every year, but we've done free throw contests. We've done closest to the pin, pool, dart, tournaments. I think team barbecues out here. and I think some like outside of the field team activities. And then so I think we're trying to get the guys like as close as possible.
Are you the coordinator of this?
I think as like you get more years, I think I'm trying to take on a little bit more responsibility of that because I think I can coordinate stuff pretty decently.
Okay.
So, but the last couple of years that hasn't been my responsibility. But hopefully this year a little bit more.
How many? First of all, you have your whole team living with you guys. So explain how many of y'all are living together. So you don't have to coordinate much. You can just take your household and just say, "Hey guys, we'll just go in the backyard and play whatever."
Oh yeah. We got the pool, we got fishing, pool table, Mario Kart. You know, it's the full 9 yards right now.
So who lives with you?
So it's Gunner, Colton, Westy, Cowser, Eflin, and me. So we got 6 guys.
Did Eflin know that he was going to jump into the bachelor pad when he
fully aware, fully conscious.
So he knew as soon as he came over last year, he's like, I'm going in with the dudes.
Yeah, I guess so. He's we're all hanging out every night after games and whatnot. It's like I said, it's either pool, fishing, or Mario Kart, or just whatever else we can think of.
Who's the best at each?
Gunner and Colton, best Mario Kart players. Westy is, he has caught the most fish so far. I have just a tendency to catch sheephead. That's the only thing I catch. But yeah, no, catch and release. And then I think on the pool table, it's kind of just up for grabs. No one's really a shark on the tables. Mountie does have a shark hat that he wears when he plays pool, but
it's kind of it's
for show.
It's insecurities.
It is. He's projecting.
He's projecting. Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
All right. So is there anybody that surprised you? How's Felix look? Grayson sucks. We know that. So, but how's everyone else look?
Everyone looks good. Everyone's coming to camp in great shape. It seems like
best shape of their life.
Oh.
No, that's is that what? Oh yeah, best shape. No, everyone looks really good. And I think, as you guys know, like it's a long season, and it all comes down to like consistency throughout the year and like what guys do for their bodies on a nightly basis. And I think we got a lot of guys who are really committed to their craft and just doing what they can. So it's been great so far, and I think this team's like. Everyone says they have team chemistry, but I think this team has a lot of guys who are really close, which always helps.
Is there somebody that you're like, and this is like choosing one of your favorite kids? Is there somebody that you're like, whoa, since I've been here, I've never met this guy? Like Enrique Bradfield. Like, is he like as fast, even though he got thrown out of his first game? I told Anthony Sanders, I'm like, first base coach, you screwed it up. This dude never got thrown out. Is there somebody that you're like, whoa, like he's bigger than I thought, or this dude is taller than I thought, or
I don't know. I saw Bautista throw for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
I forgot how big he was. Like, the guy looks. They call him the mountain, and he looks like a mountain on the mountain. Like it just inflated a normal human being to be his size. But he looks good on the splitter fastball combo, and it looks amazing. So excited to see him back this year.
You have your cutoff shirts here, and people were commenting they didn't realize you're that big. But have you and Tyler O'Neill had a flex off yet? Because he's something special.
No, I'm not even in the same stratosphere as him. The guy is chiseled. The guy's made out of marble and makes everyone else look bad. He's throwing up 140s in the weight room. And that's the highest weight we have. So
you have 140s in the weight room?
Oh yeah, Brady used to be.
But that's as high as we have them. So he probably could because that's his starting weight. So I think he's probably like on the minimum side. Like if we had 160s, he's probably throwing up 160s.
Guess is right, so people understand. 140 dumbbell bench press.
Yeah. Like the guys.
So that people know this.
Bench pressing them and calling it a day.
So he's not just looking big; he is.
He's the real deal, and I think that's the thing is guys see that and they're like, I want that. Like, give me that. And the guy's eating rice, chicken, broccoli. Like it's for real.
Do you think you guys needed that? Sometimes young teams, like you guys, just come up to the big leagues and you're like, baseball, cool. We're getting paid a lot more than we were in the bushes. We're whacking balls. Now you have a guy who, not saying he's the veteran, saying he's like. he's a guy who's super strict and like disciplined on stuff. Do you feel like you guys needed that, or do you think it's something that when you see some of these young guys that you play with, including yourself, see that you're like, what if I added that to my repertoire too?
Yeah, absolutely. I think whenever, like, I do think this team does a good job of like looking for ways to get an edge. Like if there's something that they're like, hey, this guy's doing this, try and implement it. Like you're always trying to find a way just to get a little bit better. I think having a guy like that though, who's like setting a great example for other guys, that helps a ton. And he just like fit right in already, like one of the boys.
How come he's not living with you then?
He's actually living really close to us. So yeah.
He got the whole house for himself. His contract is way different than theirs. Currently. Currently.
We got to split, be financially responsible, but he's living close to us, which is good.
Worst tan line during spring training or when you played football and you used to get the tan line from football?
See, I was playing up in Oregon, so UV index was still like low. But I think definitely right now it's probably the worst, and I'm trying to even it out. But you get a little bit of I get burned.
It's all part.
It's all part
of
the fun.
Yeah, it's
just getting burned. Part of the fun.
Yep. You weren't afraid to wear the shirt. You knew what you had, but you also knew what you had.
Well, are you having O'Neal on here later?
I don't know if he's coming on.
I'd love to because I'll take my shirt off. He can take his shirt off.
We'll do the whole.
Take his shirt off. We can have a shirt off.
We'll do the whole. Scott's probably the closest looking to him.
True.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. Have you been around?
Yeah.
No, it's for real.
So we should just have him on. We don't even need to talk to him. Just have him standing in the background as like a fixture while Grayson's talking, so that people are deflected away from Grayson's.
Absolutely. Have him and Cowser on here at the same time. We'll get them on the same program.
Okay.
Wait, you said, by the way, I know you have to go, but before we go, Grayson said something happened the other day with you and him. You guys were having a hard time getting on the same page.
I don't know. You're just going to have to ask him about our last experience together.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to sell him out.
Were you I
was kidding.
Oh, so he's not going to talk about it.
No.
I think he'll talk about it. He's an honest person.
Yeah.
He's not real. He's not realistic.
Because so we had a thing where I was supposed to take live BP off him today, and he said, "Oh, well, I threw 2 days ago, so I can't throw today." And then he's like, "Oh, and plus it might rain." So is this why he's ducking me today?
No. I mean, honestly, the guy's got a rubber arm. He could definitely throw to you. I just don't think he wants to. It's plain and simple. But me and Grayson have a lot of history together in alt-side spring trainings. Like he's one of my favorite people.
Okay. Well, were you here last year when I was here and he gave up a home run to
Mountcastle?
Was it Mountcastle? He was talking trash, and then Mountcastle hit one like
way back.
Yeah, way out here. Over there. Yeah.
We got a net that's about like 100 feet high over there, and Mountie has no problem clearing that thing. I think he's got some of the most unbelievable juice I've ever seen.
By the way, this is the greatest spring training field in Florida hit because the wind blows out every day.
Really?
Every day.
See,
he's like
I don't think so.
No, there are days. It's like 50-50, at least from. I'm not a mathematical guy, but like there's some days where it's blowing in, the wind blows out. Like there's no better feeling.
It's the best here. It's the best here.
It's great.
Well, thanks, Adley. We appreciate it. Nice to
guys.
finally meet you in person and see you, get to talk to you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Have a great time. Enjoy. Hopefully you get to play today.
Yeah. Hopefully the weather holds up.
You will.
Enjoy.
They'll make sure you play.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
They'll make sure you play.
Thank you, guys.
All right, FT fam, we'll be right back.
Hair thinning is very common, very frustrating problem that many men deal with. From stress and nutrition to hormones to lifestyle, so many internal factors affect what you see on the outside. Luckily, Nutrafol is here to help.
Thinning hair is different for men and women, so a one-size-fits-all approach to their hair growth doesn't cut it. Nutrafol has multiple formulas for men and women that are tailored to different life stages and lifestyle factors.
Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand trusted by over 1.5 million people. See thicker, stronger, faster-growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol.
Start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol for a limited time. Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code FOUL. All right, here we are. We're going to do a test before we get on TV.
Half.
Talk. Can you hear him?
No.
What the?
Nope.
Seriously. Keep talking.
Oh yeah, we can still.
I don't know. We just
It's
trying to
okay.
see if your mic works. So I don't
We're
have to
doing a
hold my
test
mic.
during the. This is
doing our
real
test
life.
so
The
we
YouTube
can-
crowd gets the raw behind the scenes, but we're not
Oh,
hearing
cool, 'cause I
Grayson.
don't-
So
I don't hear Scotty.
Still not hearing him? Oh, you know why? Because it's not plugged in.
plug it in. Step
Oh,
one.
I can hear.
Plug it in.
I can hear Scott now.
You couldn't hear Scott before
No.
at all?
Yeah, but you got me now. But wait, I need to get a little 1, 2, 3 from Grayson. Otherwise, Kratz or AJ, sacrifice your mic.
1, 2, 3.
Nope.
They got
Grayson
nothing.
more important. So
All right,
who
here.
wants to host?
I mean, AJ's right next to him. So
All right, we're dumping.
here, you want to take my mic there, Mark?
Yeah, that's the move.
Yeah,
This is real life.
we can switch
Do
on
the
the next one.
trade-off.
This is what happens on live
AJ
television.
running point. Yep. Quick trade-off. Got to be quick.
And
We're
then
coming
when
back.
there's this one. All right, let's go, Kratz.
Wait,
Huh?
10 seconds.
No, we need the mic. Got 10 seconds.
Up the
Hold up. Hold up.
Ooh, it's gonna be fun. We're back in 5.
You can tell who's been to spring training before here.
All right, here
I
we
like
go.
talking-
It's
I like
Pierzynski
talking
with
to you.
Grayson Rodriguez. AJ, we got you. We got Grayson. So this is all you because we had fans writing in. When can I see
Well,
this
Kratz is gonna
matchup?
yell.
The matchup for now. What? The matchup for now just has to be a one-on-one interview. So go for it.
So here's the problem I have, right? Like when you're going to talk this much trash to somebody, you can't have any excuses about, oh, I pitched yesterday or I did this or like, no, like if you got to throw left-handed, fine. I mean, everyone said I couldn't hit lefties, so I mean, you should have thrown left-handed.
I'd punch you out if I threw left-handed.
Oh, I don't think so.
Maybe even more so than the right
Are
side.
you like you Darvish? You can throw with both hands.
No, not really. I can play ping pong with both hands.
Ping pong. What is
Yeah.
up with the Orioles are so young? You got ping pong, Mario Kart, fishing, pool. Do you guys ever concentrate on baseball?
I mean, not really. But yeah, we're just here to hang out. Supposedly, it's what it seems like, huh?
But you know what? That's what spring training is for. Honestly,
Yeah, no.
that's what spring training is for having fun, getting to
Yeah.
hang out with your teammates away from baseball. Because when the season starts, it's all go. So
Oh yeah, for
the
sure.
golf, the fishing, the pool time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely during the season, all that stuff calms down. But we do get we get all of our work in here. Most of the stuff we like hanging out, outside of the field. I think that's one thing that, maybe not a lot of other clubs do is spend a lot of time outside the field together. So that's kind of where all that comes into play. But yeah, we do have a pool table in the locker room that gets used quite a bit. But yeah, most of the time.
What about in Baltimore?
Yeah, in Baltimore too. Yeah, a lot of pool games going on. But yeah, most of the time in the clubhouse is spent getting ready for the game.
That's as it should be. And once the season starts, you're getting paid. You're not getting paid to play pool. You're getting paid to play baseball.
Right.
All right. So
right.
tell me about what Adley was just here. You saw him. You were sitting right over there.
Yeah.
So he obviously took you deep the other day.
Yeah. So through lives the other day.
Were you
Rutsch-
telling him what was coming?
No, but I think
Ooh.
he's caught me long enough that maybe he knows what's coming. At least that's what I
Mate,
like
were
to
you
think.
tipping? Were you a little?
No, come on now. No, but I faced him in lives the other day. Of course he wants to be the first batter up there. So I mean, what else is a pitcher supposed to do in the live and get up there and you start throwing junk? First batter. I mean, I got to get in the strike zone and everything. So fell down on him 1-0. He hit a homer. Cool, whatever.
Do you
And
get to
then-
run the bases?
No.
Oh, darn
And
it.
then, let's see, 2 days ago, another live. He's the first one in the box again. Same thing, fell down 1-0. I mean, what am I going to start throwing him curveballs and changeups? No, I'm going to go right after him with a heater, and he hit another homer on me. So
Did he run the bases on that one?
No.
Did he bat flip like that
Well,
dude from Colorado did, where he threw it at the
he
pitcher?
Gronk spiked the bat. He did, but I saw it in the video, and I'm like, really, dude? Come on now. But I mean, the good news is he's the only one that's getting good contact off of me so far. So my spirits are still high, throwing the ball well. If Adley's ever on the other team as me, we may have a problem. So I may not have a choice but to pitch where he's at. Yeah, and that's what I did say too the other day. I told our hitting coach Cody Ashley and some of the other guys, I'm like, dude, I'm just going to start hitting guys. If I know you and you're in the box, I'm just going to hit you, and that's just how we're going to get it done.
I like it, but it still makes me laugh. Pitchers, you guys never forget. So, did you see the bat flip the other day from the Rockies guy?
Yeah, I did. I saw.
What do you think about that? Because I'm a bat flip guy.
Yeah.
But that was maybe just – I know he apologized, but he only apologized because he's like, man, I kind of look dumb doing this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if it was me out there, I don't really know what I'd think about it. The bat come flying at me because it did. It almost landed on the mound, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think as a pitcher, you have a right to be upset about that. The bat flips and stuff in general are cool because there's nothing I love seeing more than a leadoff homer from Gunnar Henderson to start the game, and he just, one arms the bat to the dugout. Or flashback to last year, Jackson Holliday hitting the grand slam against the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm standing in the tunnel in the dugout, kind of behind the manager and the bench coach, watching the game. I see Jackson swing, bam. I can't see the ball fly because I'm standing in the steps, like in the tunnel. And then I just see the bat just come sliding literally to the dugout fence. And, I mean, that was a pretty good bat flip. He threw the heck out of that one.
So wait,
but I like seeing that stuff.
You were being a bad teammate? You weren't out there rooting for your guys on the bench?
No, I mean, I'm locked
Were you
in. I'm
that
pitching.
Day? Oh, you're
yeah.
pitching that day.
I'm pitching.
Okay.
So I'm standing in the tunnel checking to see how many outs we have. There was probably 1 or 2 outs, I think. And, Jackson hit that ball and then just launches the bat to the dugout. So that was pretty cool. I think the bat flips are definitely a good part of the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, I'm all for it, except for if you're down 10-0, you hit a solo homer, then it might be
that's a little bit
much.
different. Yeah.
But if it's a big home, if you hit a big home run, do whatever you want.
Yeah, for sure.
If you punch me out in a big situation, you're probably going to yell at me and fist bump.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna get you back somehow.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, definitely. You can see me when I pitch, like I start screaming and stuff, which, I'm having fun out there.
What's your schedule? When do you pitch in a game?
I believe I'm throwing Thursday.
Against?
So. And am I allowed to tell you this stuff?
Well, who do you play on Thursday? I can look.
Yeah, we play the Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays?
Yeah.
Home or
I'll
road?
throw-
You don't
yeah.
make the road trips, do you?
I don't know, man. I've got like just under 2 years of service now. I don't know if that's like vet, status yet or not, but
Do you have gray pants in your locker? Do you have orange pants in your locker?
I don't have them in my locker yet. Now,
Okay.
have I seen them?
Will you travel though to face a team in your division?
Oh, probably. I have in the years past.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah,
now
I
you
mean,
have, now
I
you have
expect
2
nothing.
whole years.
Well, I mean, you got to look. We still got Zach Eflin, and we've got Charlie Morton, and Dean obviously has a lot more service time than I do. So there is other starters that are going to earn those home starts probably over me, just because simply I do not have over 2 years. But yeah, so I'm going to take every home start I can get for sure.
Okay, last thing because we have to get to your manager. So
Yeah.
he chooses where you start. So if you make him late, he's going to make you go on every road trip.
Right.
But I know you're a big hunter. We've obviously seen your trophy room
Yep.
when you do interviews with us during the off season.
Yep.
Now there's hunting around here,
Mm-hmm.
like high fence game, wild game. Have you gone yet, or have you thought about going?
No, I haven't. No, not around
Because
here.
they have like the exotic stuff around.
Yeah,
here, a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't thought about hunting in Florida. I mean, obviously, I know there's turkey hunting and stuff.
You got about 2 weeks till
yeah,
turkey season.
Yeah. So, but I think the fishing kind of comes. That's top priority here.
Yes.
Going out, 30,
Tarpon?
45 minutes.
No, it's not tarpon season.
Yeah, no, not too far. But yeah, trying to find an off day where we can go out and fish a little bit.
You're a pitcher. Every
it's
day's an
definitely
off
cool.
day.
Come on, man. I'm putting in work all the time. You know, it doesn't matter. Like I said,
You have to. Does he make
define
does,
the work.
Does Hyder make you stay for
Ping-pong
innings?
table. Yeah, we have the inning structure. Yeah, he's telling me I'm staying for 9, so I might want to get out of here. But yeah, so yeah, there's definitely an innings tier list based on the service time and stuff. So it's definitely helps guys out for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah,
You're always
thank you
regular.
very
You're
much.
always awesome. Maybe
Yeah.
next time. Listen, I'm willing to. I don't know. It took me 3.5 hours to get down here today, but I'm willing if I'm in the area to. Next time you got to throw a bullpen.
Yeah,
Just let me know if I get 1-0. Oh, watch out.
yeah, I'm just gonna hit you.
That's fine.
So-
You think you're the first guy to do that?
No, but I might be the last, so you better watch out.
Appreciate you, Grayson. Good to see you, dude.
Thanks.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right,
Go
FT
do
fan,
nothing.
we've got
Go do nothing
Orioles
as a pitcher
manager
for the rest
Brandon
of the
Hyde
day.
up next. Be right back.
Hey, this is Kratz's.
I loved covering Junior. He's a good kid. He's an energetic kid. He supports his teammates. He's not a selfish teammate, at least from what I saw. Obviously, there can be other opinions out there, I'm sure, about everybody. But from what I saw, he's a good teammate, and he brings energy to that team. And that Winter League championship, when he hit that go-ahead 454-foot home run in the top of the ninth, that's Junior in a nutshell, right? He has the capability of performing in those big moments. He has the capability of being an elite hitter. He said recently that he's targeting 30 home runs this season and that he just wants a ring. Obviously, everybody wants a ring, but I think at such a young age, having some of those lofty goals is awesome. And then obviously during Winter League, he got to pick Albert Pujols' brain. And that had to be fun for him. He told the media the other day that he was always asking him, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? And that it was a daily thing for him. So he's coming into camp with a lot of confidence, with a lot more knowledge. He came to camp a week earlier than he was required to. So that's pretty cool to see. And I'm a big Junior Caminero fan after covering him. And my favorite, and the thing about Junior, you guys, is how much, I know this can sound like a cliche phrase sometimes, but how much he loves the game. He loves the game of baseball. I remember when I was doing an Apple TV game last year, he told me that Manny Machado was like his childhood idol. So I'm doing an interview with Junior about Manny Machado and the fact that he was going to play on the same field as Machado that game against the Padres. He starts crying, like tears streaming down his face because he was so overtaken with just joy that he was going to be on the same field as his childhood idol. And then after the game, they arranged for him to go meet Machado and they exchanged jerseys and all of that. And it was one of the coolest moments of the season for me because sometimes you go to the park every day and you forget, hey, this is the coolest job in the entire world. You're caught up in what you have to do. But a moment like that happens and you're just like, oh, damn, this is really what it's all about. Like a young Junior Caminero looking at what he's doing now would just be in tears. And that was such a cool moment. So big Junior Caminero fan. I expect huge things from him this season. And I think we're going to see it.
Nice and orange and black.
Here we go. All right. Wait, I think we're in good shape here. Kratz, you talk?
Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm on.
And then
No, we want to see your face.
No.
let me get a
We want
little
to see your
1, 2, 3 from Brandon Hyde. Brandon, you got me?
Yep, 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Okay, I think we're good. Just mic a little closer if we can to the face. Otherwise, we should be good. Just so we get that
Wow.
little.
AJ's
There we
full
go. That
service.
college game day style that we've got. Our fancy, expensive mics. Brandon, great to have you on, man. How's camp going?
It's going really well, except for today. It looks like it's going to – we're in plan B and got plan C probably coming with the rain. So it's a little too early to have a rain.
When are you gonna? How long will you wait to bang this game? I know you want to. I know you don't want to, but you already moved it back to 4:00.
We moved it back to 4 o'clock because the rain's supposed to come at between 12 and 1. And I got wind that the Red Sox did it. So I was like, hey, do we want to do this? like we want to consider it, and then it becomes like stadium operations, talk to Atlanta, like those kind of things that are kind of I let front office do that. But I have all my dudes throwing today, and Atlanta's got Ronaldo Lopez, so we'd love to kind of get it in.
Did you wait till like 7 o'clock?
No. I hope not.
Because it changes everything. I mean, I was talking to Cody. I was talking to Tommy Joe. They have to change their schedule. They found out last night. It changes everything. Do you feel like something like this early is like setting you up for like dudes who are like, oh, I'm dragging already, and we're not even in March yet?
I'd rather it not be. I think a rain out or a rain delay, or not rain delay, never a rain delay, but a rain out in spring training as you get deeper in camp is never a terrible thing, except for the starter that you have. That it's never about the hitter deeper in camp. It's all about getting the innings with the starter that you have that day to continue to get him built up. This is Kramer's first start. We would, he's going to go 2 innings. We would love to have him be on the mound, but also I got 5 bullpen guys that we care about to get an inning if we can. So it's really more about the pitchers right now than anything.
And you have that all on a calendar. You probably have a dry erase board behind your desk just to give like an insight on what coaches have in spring training, managers have. How much does that change? I get it's dry erase. It's not permanent marker, but like you got to get Dean his innings or else it messes other things up.
We have a pitching room. So in the pitching room is a massive calendar. It's all dry erase. There's a lot of erasing that goes on also. And then I have, I just doing this morning, I have this next 6 days mapped out in pencil of lineups and those type of things. And so we get rained out today. I'm going to push a lot of these guys back to tomorrow. It kind of changes. And then you guys know there's certain guys I don't want to travel and I want to make certain that they're playing a majority home games. And so then you have to kind of tweak that. And it's more work.
It's more work than it's worth, right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Listen, as someone in my last few years that didn't make road trips, I'm all for not making road trips.
It's the closest gray he's ever had to pants in spring training.
That's not Freddie Gonzalez who you had here the last couple of years. He always, when I was in Atlanta, when he was a manager, he made me make one road trip.
Yeah.
It was Kissimmee. It was actually closer to my house than Disney was. So it actually was like, okay, that's perfect. That's perfect. He made me and Markakis make one. And it was always Kissimmee because it was right there.
I consider those type of things. We have guys that live up in Bradenton, or we guys live up in the Tampa area that I know about. So they, when those kind of road trips are a little bit easier. If we're going to Fort Myers on the opposite side, it's, if a guy for me has earned it, we have those type of conversations.
What's it been like? It's a little different this year. No Burns, obviously. No Santander this year for the first time in forever. What's the major difference in camp? Batista's back. You brought in Charlie Morton. You made some other moves. What's the biggest difference for the Orioles in 2025?
So, adding Morton, adding Sagano. So interested in what Sagano's going to look like. He's going to start some, earlier or midweek this week. I really like our bullpen right now with Batista coming back and the arms. There's a lot of the arms are supposed to throw today, and Perez and Soto and Dominguez and Cano and these type of guys. I feel like the last readings of the game, I have some options, some good options. Batista threw a live BP yesterday, looked great, so he's on track. Hopefully he's can be at least a close version of himself of what he was a couple of years ago, of just absolutely dominant. And then we got O'Neill, and it gives Kierstead an opportunity to get some more bats and give him a chance. He's definitely earned it, and he's nothing left to prove in AAA. So, that's the little bit of the difference from this year last year.
What does that look like? What does that look like for a guy that we've heard so much about? We've seen he's destroyed AAA. Yeah. We just had Buck on the other day, and he was like, if you're evaluating in spring training, like that's like evaluating in September.
I know. It's hard.
What does it look like for you guys?
I think it's really, like you said, it's really tough to evaluate in spring training. I've seen guys have 10 homers in spring, and then they break in their wave 2 weeks into the season, or the opposite, where a guy gets 2 hits all spring and starts out 7 for 10 with 3 doubles and a homer. It's such a different game spring training wise. Some guys take longer than others. I think with Heston, it's a little bit overall improvement from the strike zone discipline. We want to continue to work on his defense. Like those type of things are important. Just the quality of the at bat, definitely not numbers, but just like the quality of the bat. It's really normal for young guys to press, especially when they're trying to either make the team or try to be a starter. They're pressing a little bit. I just want him to relax and take the best at bats he can.
All right, so we've had this conversation on the show before, and since you're the guy that has to do this, how's the outfield going to shake out? Because you mentioned Hurstad has to get at bats.
Mhm.
You still have Sed, right? You have O'Neill.
Mhm.
You have Dylan Carlson,
Laureano.
yeah. Bradfield, Cameron.
Yeah.
You have all of them.
You have like 12 outfielders that
I know.
some obviously have more big league time than others, but
Yep.
then you hear about Bradfield and some other guys that can come up and play. Cowser, we didn't even mention Cowser. So how do you get all these guys into the lineup?
Well, I mean, spring training, I'm just rotating as much as possible. I things always tend to work out. It's just kind of one of those where I'd much rather have it this way than, oh my God, who's going to play out there? But Cedric's going to play center, and Cowser was second rookie of the year last year, and definitely earned a play. So, then Tyler O'Neill, we signed to a 3-year deal. Laureano's had a really good career and mashed left-handed pitching last year. Dylan Carlson, when I saw him in St. Louis, player you liked. Switch hit, guy that could play 3 spots in the outfield, so that creates some more depth. Kierstad's, crushed AAA and deserves a chance to get some at-bats and see what he can do. So, like I said, things tend to always work out, but you on paper right now, it does look crowded. You just got to try to find a way.
That was a very managerial front office answer there.
I
like it though. I like it.
I'd rather have more than.
No, I agree. Listen, I agree. You'd rather have 12 starters.
4 years ago, I was like, "Oh my God, who's going to play out there?"
Can Sed play all 3 positions?
Yeah, right.
Not against Sed. I mean, you have big leaders on the team, but it gives a good insight into what you see in each guy and that value and what it brings to the team. What about Jackson Holiday?
Yeah,
spring training. Like, he's been in spring training for the last 15 years with his pops.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not new for him. He doesn't have that pressure part of it. But is this like September? What was it? Minnesota? Did you guys play in Minnesota?
Yep,
and he made the change, and it was he was 4 for 7 or 2 for 3 in the last series. Do you see something like that saying, ooh, I want to see if he brought this extra thing back from the offseason? Or are you like, whatever, he might have gotten taller since he's really only like 16 years old still.
Yeah, he's been here for like 3 weeks. So he was here. We had a mini camp early where we brought Sayo and Holiday and Kierstead and some guys. So they were here. They had a head start on spring. Got him with our. We have 2 new hitting coaches. Got him with our new hitting coaches. Kind of get him in the building. And so I've been here. I live here. So I was at that. I was interested to see. I saw a video from the winter, but I was interested to see what it looked like. And yeah, he did carry over what he was working on at the end of the season last year. So we're looking at that, the quality of the bats, the improvement defensively at second base. Also, that was his first time ever playing second base last year and doing it at the big league level at 20. It's not easy to do. So just adjustments, and you can tell he's more comfortable now, and he's not trying to impress as much. It's just he's going out and playing the game.
Do you look at the other teams in your division and say, "Oh, this team did this team's doing this team's doing that"? Or are you just hyper focused on the Orioles? Because it's hard in baseball. I know you're the manager of the Orioles, but when you see the Yankees lost Soto, but then they picked up, Fried and Devin Williams and Goldschmidt, and then the Red Sox got Crochet and Bregman, and the Blue Jays are trying to get everybody, and they get Santander, some other things. The Rays just do what they do.
Rays got starters back.
Yes, the Rays do what the Rays do, right? So do you pay attention to that, or are you just solely focused on the Orioles? Because there has to be a little bit that creeps into your brain.
It's natural. I pay attention. I mean, my focus is our club. Very interested in what the other teams are doing also. So and you have friends in the game too, so you know what's going on. But I'm very interested in what the moves the Yankees made, and when the Red Sox got Bregman, you think I wasn't cheering for it. If you wanted to go to the National League Central, that would have been cool. But I think you're always following along what other people are doing, what other teams are doing. I think that's normal and natural.
That's a prepared manager, like understanding. You don't get the opening day and go,
yeah,
the Sox got
my God, they got Crochet.
Whoa, how did they get
him opening day? I thought it would be fun, guys. Go get them.
Yeah. How about this? The challenge system.
Yeah.
How are you approaching it as far as like instructing your players? But also, who are you giving a little bit of a longer leash to?
So first day of it was yesterday. First time I ever saw it. First time we unfortunately we don't have it here. But I was really interested in what it looked like, the mechanics of it. I was talking, Vic Carapazza had the behind the plate. He had never done it before either, so we were kind of talking about it throughout the game. Finally, it happened like in the 6th. We're 2 for 2 so far right now with we've won 2. So I think it's kind of cool, honestly. I think it's going to be unique for the game. I think it's going to be like in a big spot, especially late in the game. And somebody takes a close pitch, and everybody's eyes go to the jumbotron, and when that thing's tracking to the box, I think it's going to be some excitement a little bit for the crowd. I don't know. I think it's definitely. I'm glad they're experimenting in spring training to see what it looks like.
Yeah, but who's allowed to challenge?
Yeah,
'Cause you're not.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to let Let's say
Whoa,
God
don't say
forbid
his
someone
name.
gets hurt.
Don't say his name.
No, there's a rookie that gets called up pitcher, right? And he throws a pitch, and then next thing you know, Gunnar comes up with the bases loaded, and he can't
all of a
because
sudden.
you're out, right?
So I was talking to our AAA managers on the staff now, Buck Britton, and they had rules last year in AAA about kind of who could, who couldn't, time of the game, all that kind of stuff, because guys were so aggressive early in the game and losing, and that, like what you said, you don't want it to be in the biggest spot in the game, and all of a sudden Rutschman's up and he doesn't have a challenge left, who knows the strike zone better than anybody. So yeah, I think it's something that we're going to have to kind of play with a little bit.
So I was driving yesterday, and I saw your game was on. You guys played at the Phillies,
Yep,
right?
yep.
The catcher.
Yeah.
We had Adley on. He's hopefully going to be here for a long time. What's it, Samuel?
Basayo.
What do you tell him? Because he's 21, 20?
20.
He's
not even
like
21.
6'5", like 250. He's a monster.
Massive.
And I mean, I was listening to the Phillies broadcast, and they were like, "This guy can catch and throw. He can hit for power." What do you tell him? Because Adley's not going anywhere.
Yep.
At least for a while.
I think that if you swing it, they're going to always find a place for you. And I was really, the first time I ever saw him catching a game was yesterday, because he was hurt last major league camp. Even though he was 19, he was banged up, so he didn't catch any. I was really impressed with him behind the plate yesterday. Like you said, it's 6'5" and massive, so it's a huge target. He catches the ball easy. There's very little anxiety. He's got a cannon. It's accurate, and the batting practice power is unreal. It's as much as I've ever seen. I had Stanton, so maybe tone it back a little bit, but it's massive raw power. And he's got some. It's not just thick, muscly power. It's really handsy too. So it's great to have, and I'm looking forward to watching this camp. And God, who knows what happens with guys. But it's a really exciting prospect.
Would you trade him for a big-time starter? Obviously, you're not trading
Where's Mike?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You're not
call
making
Mike in the offseason and say, "Mike, man, we could really use Dylan Cease or
I might
Pierre Crochet."
I might plant things here and there, but very very professional. I understand how hard his job is, and I know he gets, and I know it's not easy to make trades, and I know that's his job is incredibly difficult.
But it's your job to put a winning team or to help the team that's on the field win, and that's the conversation around the Orioles.
Yeah.
In the sense that you have all these guys, you have dudes that are just, like you said about Heston, kind of doesn't need to go back to AAA.
Right.
Not saying that some of these guys can't, but how do you navigate that? Because you're having a lot of those guys in camp, and then you got to send them down. You got to give them the tap of death.
Yeah, that's the worst day in camp. The worst day in camp is sending guys out. I've done this for a while now when it comes to being a minor league manager, releasing guys, telling guys are traded, sending guys down in camp. It breaks your heart. It's a terrible feeling, and hopefully we keep the guys we want to keep, and everybody stays healthy this camp. And hopefully we do have some tough decisions at the end of camp, and that's just part of the game. But Mike does a really good job in putting together a roster. And I think we're really versatile. We have a chance to be platoon heavy one way or the other with outfielders as well as with infielders if we want to go that direction. So we'll see what happens.
By the way, did you plan Grayson not to pitch, not to be able to throw today, so I couldn't ruin his confidence?
He could use a little, probably. He could probably use. Did you give him a little?
Well, no, we had a thing where I was supposed to hit off of him, and then he said he couldn't
seriously?
throw because he pitched 2 days ago.
It's pretty firm with a really good changeup.
Yeah, but I mean, Adley took
Only
him deep
need one.
twice already, so I figured I could mix in one.
He did take him deep twice.
Only need one. Only need one.
Yeah, just got to touch it
All I
out.
need
Touch
is
it out in front.
all I need is a knock, and then that's over. Look,
Yeah.
you're 48 years old. You're 23.
Right.
Is he 24?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's like a parachute. Hyder, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate you
Thanks for
coming
having
on.
me on, guys.
Yeah.
And
Thanks, buddy.
please seeing you guys.
You too.
We'll be right back with FT. We kept it from your meeting.
Huh?
We kept it from your meeting.
Life comes at you fast. Make life easier and healthier with Green Chef. Stay on track, even on your busiest days, with options like salads, ready in 5 minutes or less, and ready to blend smoothies.
You'll get pre-made sauces, pre-portioned ingredients to enjoy restaurant-quality meals for the #1 meal kit for eating well.
If you're like, wait, what about HelloFresh? Green Chef is owned by HelloFresh with a lovely array of meal plans to choose from. We love them both dearly. I switch between brands, and now our listeners can enjoy both brands at a discount.
Scott, I made the shrimp rice dish with corn and roasted cashews last night. It was fire. It came with a high-quality, organic, fresh produce that I love, so my whole family can eat clean.
Thrive all year with clean, easy meals from Green Chef. Go to greenchef.com/territory-free and use code territory-free to get started with free salads for 2 months, plus 50% off your first box. That's greenchef.com/territory-free and use that code territory-free.
Put us together.
That's kind of
All right, we're back. By the way, I already told him this. Ryan O'Hearn is with us. First baseman, DH? Is that what we go?
Whatever you need.
Outfield? You can't
I'll be
really be
your
outfield.
guy.
You guys got 12 outfielders. So
I mean, you never know.
So I already told him.
In a pinch?
I've said this on the show. I called him Nick before because I have a friend that's Nick O'Hearn. So every time it just pops into my head, and I cannot get it out of my head. He's a really good golfer. He's won like on the PGA Tour and all that stuff.
Call me Nick
He's
O'Hearn
Aussie
anytime.
He's Aussie though, so you don't have the same accent. But anyways, Ryan O'Hearn is here at Orioles camp here in Sarasota. What's the rain day looking like for you?
Well, everything got pushed back, so we got to sleep a little longer, which was nice. I don't know what the deal is today. It seems like the weather could hold off, or it's going to piss on us. I don't know. So we're kind of just playing it by ear.
It's too early to root for rain out, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not playing today anyway.
Oh, so it
doesn't matter for me.
Veteran.
But,
You're bad.
it took a long time to get to that point.
What do you got? 8, 9, 10 years to be able to not play on the day where it's raining?
Just a cool 6.
Just a cool 6. They don't give those out.
But around here, that's a lot of time.
You're
Charlie. Charlie's got 3 times as much as anybody.
Does Charlie have a closer parking spot?
He should.
With like a symbol on it
if he
that he has
doesn't,
to hang from
then
his
he
mirror?
should. I don't know. But he should. He should have whatever he wants. He should have an office instead of a locker.
Do you look at him and you're like, man, I hope I don't have to play till I'm that age?
No, I look at him and I'm like, this guy's awesome. I hope I can play as long as he does.
Well, he's an awesome dude, but like, do you really want to play till you're 50 years old like Charlie?
Well, I mean, it depends on,
if they're paying you.
if they're paying me.
You're not looking to play in the bushes till you're 40 years old?
No,
Is that what you're saying?
Probably won't spend any time in the Mexican League.
but I do love the game, so I'll play as long as they let me
If
around here.
someone wants to pay you $15 million to keep playing, it's hard to say no to that, right?
Can't say no to
As
that.
long as if you have wives and kids and families and all that.
Yeah, my
And
wife.
it gets to a point though, like, I mean, I made it till I was 40, so
Yeah.
my kids were getting a little bit older.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I would imagine that kind of changes
that's where it
things.
changes things. But if your wife is okay with it, then it's hard to not keep playing.
Right.
If you can still do it and to the level of what you're used to doing it. Now, if there's a significant drop off, then you're like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, look at like Carlos Santana. He's still going, seems like he's getting better. So maybe I could be like him.
So you said you're married?
I'm married a little over a year, no kids. So she's very supportive. She wants me to have fun, keep playing. So that may change if we have kids, which
She will. No, I mean, she'll want you to keep. Trust me.
Yeah.
Kratz knows. Kratz, one of Kratz's kids is here, but
They're
trust me, they get it. She knows what she married into.
right. Yeah, no, she gets it. She's very supportive.
she enjoys shopping in Chicago too, probably.
She enjoys off days in very cool cities. Yes,
But now that you're married, just a little over a year, you said,
right?
Are you a little disappointed that you can't get into the Adley Gunner house because it's all the?
You know what? I did catch that invite actually.
You caught it this year.
I
What did
got
she
an
say?
invite, and they said you can have the guest house, which was great. And I kind of ran it by the general, which is my wife, and she was like, no, because we have a dog, we have a family that's going to come in just about every week. So we decided to get our own house. So
good for you.
But I'm proud of the invite. And I did spend one night at the frat house, as I'm calling it, and it was awesome. They have
Did you fish?
I fished. I caught a fish. So I'm on the board, and there's a swimming pool in the middle of their living room, which is pretty cool. And we just hung out, and
Swimming pool.
What?
By the way,
got to be one of the guys.
He didn't say that.
Mention that.
He didn't say that.
This is like, they
What?
paid a little bit of money for this house. This
I
isn't
would
like
say
a
yes.
standard Airbnb. You go on and like, oh, this would be $100.
No,
per night.
no.
Oh, what? It goes up to $400 a night in spring training?
I don't even know
price
what the
gouging.
nightly price would be, but it's a
Shoulda
pretty
asked.
penny. And there's 6 of them, so they're splitting it up. But I mean, the place is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Whoever owns that place is doing all right. We'll put it that way.
Man, I miss those days of spring training.
It is.
Those were the best,
Yeah, I agree.
especially when you're young.
When I was a young guy, we had like 5 guys in Arizona that stayed in the same place for a few years, and it was really fun.
And Surprise.
Yeah. And then it was in Glendale,
Glendale.
so about 30 minutes from
Kentucky?
Surprise. Yeah, Kentucky.
All right, so what's it like this year in camp?
Vibes are really good.
It's been good.
It's been good. New guys are gelling, and we're having fun. It's still early, so I think everybody's still kind of doing that. We haven't seen each other in a long time, so enjoying each other's company, having fun, and vibes are high. Couldn't be any better.
Okay, so I have to ask this because they're in your division and it's recently been a story.
Okay.
So if the Orioles would have signed another shortstop this year, say I saw J.J. Hardy earlier. Right? They said J.J.'s coming back.
He could still play out. We watched him take ground
That
balls
back
a little
is wrecked. There's no way.
His hands are still good.
bit. They're there.
Hands are
Yes.
still
But if they said J.J.'s coming back for your gunner, we need you to move to first,
Yeah.
like the Red Sox situation.
Right.
Gunner would say,
Okay.
okay. All right.
And you
I
would
think so.
No, because it's a weird situation.
It is
right?
a
'Cause
weird situation.
Devers been there, right? Bregman
Yeah.
comes in. They have Cassis, who's kind of the young guy, supposed to be.
Yeah.
So it kind of puts all 3 of them in a weird
It's tough.
situation.
I mean, I can't relate because nobody's ever asked me to sign a 10-year extension. But I would imagine if someone says, here's a bunch of money, we want you to be our third baseman for the next however long, it would be hard to have that taken away from you, 4 or 5 years into it or whatever. But at the same time,
You got what? What did he sign? 300? You have 300 in the bank, though?
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think you got to do what the organization wants. I think you got to lean into the team guy situation. You're already making your money. You want your team to be as good as possible. That's kind of where I stand on that.
So you're saying if you guys could win a World Series, you'd move to left field.
I would move to left field tomorrow for
What about
any
catcher?
reason.
What about catcher?
That's tough. I don't think I would do that.
You would probably ride in the baño on the bus every single trip for a World Series
Just
championship.
give me a couple beers and, set me up in the bathroom. I'm fine.
I like that. Can you tell when guys are I'm saying just on your team, can you tell when guys are honest about that? Like anything I can do to win a World Series.
Yes, I think you can definitely tell. I think it goes a lot further than just like what you say. I think your actions kind of show that. Man, I love being on this team because I feel like it is the most un-Hollywood good team in baseball, in my opinion.
With
Guys,
Gunner and with Holiday and Adley and all these good-looking fellas, young fellas at the frat house.
They're
running
just
around.
grinders, man. They're just
Oh!
really good. They're really
Don't say that
good
in front of Kratz. Don't
grinders.
say that in front of Kratz.
Kratz is going to disagree.
definition
Okay,
of
maybe
grinders
they're
is
not
different.
grinders based off of career path, but like the mentality, I
He
think.
knows. He knows. I didn't
is
have to
like,
explain it.
It's like for the boys. We want to win. We love each other. We got that thing going on. And, I know the division's really good, but, I like our team, and I don't mind being under the radar a little bit, if that's what you want to call it.
What's the next step for you guys? Because obviously
Win a game in the postseason.
Well,
that's the next
but
step.
how? That's kind of my
Yeah. I mean, I've
my
been
thing.
asked.
Like, obviously, you guys have made it the last 2 years. You've gotten to the point of where you guys are now. Everyone's like the Orioles. It's now. It's go time,
Yeah.
right, for you guys. So how do you get over that hump of, man? How do we win a game and then a series and then make a deep run?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been asked that question a lot this spring. It's there's no like good answer really, because until you do it, they're going to be like, well, you didn't do it. So I think there's no good answer. I think we're a long way from October. We're going to have fun playing baseball. We're going to enjoy each other's company. We have the talent and the ability to get to that point, obviously. But we still got to go out and win games. We got to go beat the Yankees. We got to go beat the Red Sox. We got to go. So it's in this business, I like to say, let's take it one day at a time, because that is the only way to go. So obviously we have goals, big dreams, big goals. We want to accomplish great things as a team, but we're not going to do them today, but we're going to set kind of the standard of how we want to go about our business, and maybe our mentality and how we're going to approach each day. And then once we get to that point, I have confidence that we'll be ready to rock.
Such a vet answer.
But that was a good answer, wasn't it?
But now I'm going to really give you a hard one.
All right. What do you got?
So you were signed through this year.
Uh-huh.
You could have been a free agent.
Yeah.
You saw what happened on the market in the free agency.
Yeah.
We ask a lot of guys, okay, free agency's next year. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
Did you sit there and go, dang it, I saw what I did this year. What if I had not signed that? Not saying that you could have, but it's a different angle seeing what you signed, and then you could have been a free agent this year after the year that you had.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think about that?
I mean, it's impossible not to think about it. We're all human. I think, you look at maybe the first base, outfield free agent class each year and go kind of, where do I fit in, or where would I be desired in this class type of thing. But at the same time, I have never once in my career felt secure or felt like I'm good to go, whatever happens. So I've gotten pretty used to betting on myself, and I feel no different about this year.
So
I'm not, it'll be there when it's there. Like I said, I'm very excited to be an Oriole. So when I had that conversation with Mike this offseason, I was fired up. I was really excited to come back, just because the familiarity of these guys, and I know what they want from me, and I like it here. So what's not to like?
So next year, you and Vlad are going to be 1-2 on the first base.
Look, man, I
outfielder,
just want a
second.
job. We'll put it that way.
Well, if you want to do what you did last year, you'll be fine.
I want a job. Yeah, I'm not worried about hundreds of millions and billions of billions. I just want to go have fun playing baseball and keep doing this thing. I'm 31 years old. I'm blessed to be able to continue to play baseball. It's crazy.
Listen, I'm going to tell you this right now, and try to get every dollar you can. Though I know.
Yeah. I got agents for that.
No, I know, but yes, you'll find a place to play. You have another good year, you'll be fine to find it. But also, besides getting every, find a place you want to go to.
Yeah.
Right. If you're a free agent and there's multiple offers, and because every free agent we've talked to has kind of been, I get 4 or 5 offers. They're all very similar.
Yeah.
Then it comes down to quality of life,
where you want to live,
where you want to spring train,
winning team,
yes,
things like
stuff
that.
like that. So yes, but I think you'll be okay. You'll find a place.
Dunedin. I mean, I
was born in Dunedin.
You were born in Dunedin. You don't live there anymore, but
Did you go to high school in Dunedin?
No, we moved my freshman year of high school to Texas.
Oh,
so I went to Mitchell High School for 1 month in Newport Richey.
Wow. Okay.
Last one from me. Are you that? Because your strike zone discipline is awesome. Are you high enough on the totem pole of the lineup to be able to use this? And will that go into your thought process The 2 seconds after you're like, no, that's a ball. Ooh, Gunner, where are you at with that?
Yeah, that's an interesting question because you're going to have to take – I don't know exactly what the rules are. Like, obviously, if you get it wrong, you burn a challenge.
Right.
So I don't know what the strategy is going to be with that, like how late in the game, how many guys are on base. I think it's going to be like a little bit of like, first at bat, like it's a ball, or you think it's a ball, but like, do I want to risk it type of thing. That's an interesting strategy that's going to come into play. But, yeah, I plan on using the challenge 100%.
I can't wait till Hyder, you do it your first time and you're wrong.
Yeah,
Like,
never again.
Never again.
You just lost.
You've had your one shot.
Or like you're going to be peeking in the dugout like, can I use it?
What do you have? How you have 2 seconds? How long? How quick is that?
I have no idea.
I mean,
have no idea.
I don't think they have an actual time. What I read was that they're supposed to have a internal clock going, which is going to piss everybody off
That's
anyway.
going to be a little bit gray area.
But watching it in the minor leagues, seeing how fast it happens, it's like wait, the hesitation where a guy walks away, they don't give it to him.
Gotcha. You know what? I'm looking forward to, like, national TV game, sold out stadium, big moment, and then the guy taps his hat, and then just like a raining of booze, like, you know what I mean? Like, the inning is not over. What do you mean?
And then everyone's staring at the jumbotron and seeing the little ball come at you.
It's kind of like the replay thing where it's going to take a little bit of like there's not going to be like instant gratification of like, oh, he's out, because it's like, wait a minute, let's check the replay type of thing. Maybe, it could be a little bit of that.
You're growing accustomed to that, though. The replay. Like, you're playing first, there's a close play. There's a guy running. You still have to come up and like throw the ball home. Just in case.
Continue the play in case something happens.
In case you're wrong or right, whatever.
Yeah, but I just like I think like the drama of baseball where it's like, so it used to be so like final, where it's like out call, safe call, like that's the law, and that's kind of leaked into balls and strikes, which is my only, playing devil's advocate, like that's my only argument against it. But I'm definitely on team challenge. Put it that way.
You want them to get it right.
Yes.
Do you want the fans? Baltimore, they started the whole like water hose stuff. That was like fun and kind of gimmicky. Do you want the fans to do something? Like, you could set the precedent today when they start it. Like, when it's up there, like the fans just yelling, ball, that'd
be pretty sweet.
Strike. Obviously, whichever way it's supposed to go for them.
That would be sweet. I mean, if the fans want to do that, I would say our fans are very like creative and they're very into the game. They always come up with like their own gimmicks and the cowser, the mooing, the splash zone, like all that stuff is awesome. So I'm sure that they'll have something in store for us, and can't wait to see what it is.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Enjoy your rain out / off day anyway. So.
Oh, I'm gonna get some work in. I'm trying to get better today.
You're gonna get a bat, the bat guy over there. He's giving away free bats. Not that you don't get free bats anyway.
I'm married to Victus. Shout out my boys at Victus.
Holla, Victus. We'll be right back, FT.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Yep.
All right, I'm here. We got 2 minutes. Let's show hey, what's up? I'm exhausted. I'm working too hard here. You guys are crushing it, though. And it looks really good out there. It does. Seriously. This is awesome. Spring training tour looks better every year. Mark your calendars. First half of the promo schedule is here. Jose Altuve socks given out on 4/20 against the Padres. There's so many things that are fun about that. Chandler Rome, our guy who hosts Crush City Territory and covers his team for the Athletics, said, I'm not sure if they intended this, but the Astros giving away Jose Altuve socks against the Padres is high comedy. He posted the picture of Altuve taking off his socks. Remember this incident last year?
Oh, yeah.
Showing him his Sergeant Hulka, his big toe, where he fouled off the ball off his toe, and the umpire said it wasn't a foul ball.
I just can't believe he went to that length to try and prove his point and
You know
think that it was going to work.
Scott, as a player, there were times like I thought I fouled a ball off. I'd be like, check the ball, it'll have dirt on it. Or check sometimes, there'd be whatever, little shoe polish. There's shoe polish on the ball. Because they used to actually polish your shoes with shoe polish, with black polish. So you could actually be like, hey, check the ball. It has black polish on it.
That's your evidence.
It's a real thing, Scott.
Let's charge the damn mound. Oof, this is rough. Since we've been doing our interviews at O's camp, there's another injury to the Mets rotation. So Frankie Montas is going to be out for a while. We learned about that a week ago. Now we've got Sean Manaea going down. Will Salmon from The Athletic saying that the Mets view it as relatively short term. It's an oblique strain. They expect him back sometime in April, at least as of now. His situation doesn't significantly change their pitching plans right now in terms of relying on depth. Without Manaea and Montas, this from Anthony DeComo, the Mets figure to open the season with a rotation of Kodai Senga, Clay Holmes, and David Peterson. The final two spots will be a combo of Paul Blackburn, Griffin Canning, and Tyler McGill. Got it. Depth is okay for now, but to act like everything's fine without Sean Manaea, that's a stretch. Sean Manaea is really freaking good. So, AJ, that's a big loss, at least for now. Hopefully he's okay. He comes back. If anything, it's a little less mileage on the arm. Coming off a season where he pitched more than ever, maybe, including in the playoffs. But on the short term for the Mets in a division against the Braves and the Phillies for the top, this bites.
Isn't this the thing we said we've been questioning since the Mets had a great offseason? Yes, they got Juan Soto, but was their starting pitching and saying, man, if someone goes down, what's going to be the problem? And I think this is, Manaea with an oblique, listen, I know they're going to say it's relatively short term, but you got to take those things so seriously, Kratz. I don't know if you ever had one, but if you do it and you hurt it and it's not all the way back, it's kind of like a calf or a hamstring, right? How many times do you see a guy with a calf, a hamstring, and oblique? They're like, oh, yeah, I can play. And they even go on rehab and they play. And then their first big league at bat, their first big league game, they're like, oh, it got me again, because they're just so fickle and so strange. So they're going to play this safe. But the question is Kodai didn't pitch last year at all, really, right? I mean, Holmes is moving into the starter role for the first time in forever. So how is this rotation going to – I mean, they already lost Montas. Now Manaea's down. How's this rotation going to hold up in a division where you picked them third?
It's just, you can't keep. Yes, look, I'm going to Mets camp, so I'm trying later in this week. So I'm trying to smooth over my Mets John here, but this is tough. This is tough because honestly, if Manaea was looking like your number one, Kodai was going to be 1A. The season that he had, Kodai was going to be better than Manaea. If you're looking at the best seasons possible. And this just hurts your depth. And when you pick up a guy, when you go into the big-time free agent market, I know they re-signed Manaea, and that was $75 million for 3 years. And they had Senga. If you went into the Burns category, if you went to trading for – I don't think they could have traded for Crochet, but if you got into that category, now it just bumps everybody down. It bumps the fact that they got a guy like Griffin Canning to be able to eat innings. Now he has to eat innings, not just figuring out, okay, we'll get him 160. It's like everybody's team. You even look at the Dodgers. They don't have guys that are eating innings. So that's kind of old school mentality, I think.
but you don't have any. Manaea needed to throw about 180 innings to have the same amount of innings as he had last year, and so he's already got that workload on him, and you can't get 180 out of Senga, so you sit there and you go, where were all their innings going to come from? And it's just hurt them a little bit more here. So April's going to be tough. A few more off days will help if there's a time that you can go down, but we're splitting hairs here.
Well, there's an old saying, Scott, in baseball. You can't win a pennant in April, but you can lose it. And that means you can fall far enough behind if you don't get off to a good start. And everyone looks at September, but the games in April count just as much. My other thing is, will this open it up to them maybe going to get a Cease or a Luis Castillo, something like that, because the Mets are all in, and the Mets want to win, and the Mets want to win now. So will they push some chips in to possibly make a trade like that?
If I was them, I would. Cease is a prime example because they're being careful with their luxury tax number. Yes, even the Mets have to be careful because any dollar they spend gets more than doubled, I think, at this point, right? Like even Pete getting 30, that really cost them 60, but getting Cease at, say, 14-ish cost them 28, still very, very much worth it. Charlie Morton sitting down, so let's do this. Let's bank a break, come back in a couple minutes, and we'll talk to the grizzled vet in the rotation for the Orioles.
Aaron Boone said, if we just miss out on one player that could help us win a World Series, then it's a bad policy, which is 100% true.
True.
I don't think any player that's going to get the right amount of money is that attached to their beard that they can grow back. But I also saw in Houston in 2016, Dallas Keuchel and I were in the weight room. Jim Crane, the owner, came in, very successful businessman, has other businesses other than the Astros. So this was 2016 before they went on to be the team. They were just starting to be the team that we know them as now. And he said, you know what? He said, not one person in my other businesses has a beard like Dallas Keuchel. But also, not one person in the other businesses can win a Cy Young like Dallas Keuchel. So he was being honest about it. He was being honest. He was meeting the player where they were. And he said, you know what? I have this standard in my other businesses. It doesn't fly here. So good for Hal being the one that says, you know what? I'm willing to bend a little bit, but don't abuse this privilege. Don't be coming in here looking like a homeless, scraggly person beard either.
Draftneck Mark, Juan Soto. It's real. I know it still feels weird, but it's real. What's this going to look like in the lineup?
Yeah, it's pretty insane that he's on this team. Like watching all the videos of him taking BP and interacting with the guys and just having Mets stuff on is still insane. I mean, you slot this guy right into the 2-hole, I think, in this lineup, and you instantly have two of the best top of the order guys right now with Lindor and Soto, and then you have some power behind them with Vientos, Alonso, whichever way you want to go there. Maybe even Nimmo moves up in the lineup. Just adding one of the best players in Major League Baseball to a lineup that was good enough last year. They want to be better, and that's the way you do it. You grab a guy like Juan Soto, who doesn't just help on the power department, but gets on base, is one of the just best offensive players in the entire league.
Grizzled veteran Charlie Morton. You know how grizzled is? He's like Jim Leland. He came out here with spikes on the concrete.
I thought you were going to say
the noise I didn't miss from playing is spikes on concrete. All the pitchers wearing their spikes on concrete. Position players in spring training, we're rocking plastics, and a lot of pitchers have gone to plastics. but you came out here in full spikes.
Well, we have an obligation at 12:40 Eastern here, so I wanted to be prepared for that. We have a meeting, and I wanted to be there on time. That's all, and I wanted to be ready to throw if I need to here.
I don't think you're throwing outside at 12:40.
So you're checking out the indoor mounds now. Think about how hard it's going to sound like you throw if you're throwing in the batting cage. Like it's pow, wow, wow. Get your confidence built up.
It would have used to.
Not anymore. It doesn't.
No.
So what's different?
Now I know. I'm farm throwing because I got the TrackMan and everything.
Oh, so you don't even have to question because Chuck and I, he got traded over to the Pirates in 2009 or 10, I forget. 9. And I got to catch his first AAA start. It went so well. They called him up to the big leagues, and he's been in the big leagues pretty much ever since, especially when his hamstring stays attached to his leg and all that stuff. But to tell you how long that's been, my son was 3 years old that year. My son is now 18. He's right there. And you've been doing it in the show for that long.
Yeah, it flew by. I don't know what happened. At some point it flipped. Like time used to go by really, really slowly, and I felt I didn't really look forward to going to the park. I was down on myself, but slowly but surely I got the opportunity to figure it out, and that was the biggest thing for me is a lot of luck. A lot of people, the right people believing in me, giving me a chance.
Who?
Well, Neil for one. Neil Huntington, kept giving me a shot. The guys in Pittsburgh kept giving me a shot. And then, like you mentioned, the hamstring, and the Phillies gave me a shot in 2016, and my hamstring came off. And then the Astros gave me a shot, and I think that was the first time I actually felt like I really earned my way on a team.
But and to preface that, in 9, when you came over, I had faced you the year before in AAA with the Braves in Gwinnett. I mean, not Gwinnett, in Richmond.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, up until that point, the only more dominated I felt in an at-bat was Justin Verlander. And I told you that when you got traded over, I go, bro, you dominated me. You dominated me that entire game. And do you remember what your answer was, or what your answer would have been in 2009? Not directly to me, because I can tell you, and I'll never forget it, because it changed how I think about pitchers.
You don't need to lie to me.
No. You said, I probably got lucky. And I remember thinking, this dude was an absolute beast on the mound, and he dominated me, and I thought he was a beast. And you go, I probably got lucky. And it wasn't anything against you. It was more me saying I was giving you too much credit.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I mean, I think that was the narrative. Like it was like I'd throw a bullpen, or I'd go out for a first inning and have a really good inning, or I'd throw a bullpen and I remember Leo Mazzoni watching me in the bullpen when I was in A-ball, and he's back there getting all excited, watching the ball come out of my hand, and I'm like, man, I guess I'm pretty good, I guess, but I just never truly believed it. And then it took like actually being dominant to believe it in the big leagues, not just being like okay or decent or having a couple good starts. It actually took me having some sustained success and me understanding why I was having success. So I've learned a lot from that. I mean, I've learned a lot from the successes and failures.
But I have 2 for you. 1, 3 for 6 off you. Sorry about it, Kratz. I must have got lucky that day. Okay. Did we lose our feed here? Oh, there we go.
No.
3 for 6. Two doubles, too, by the way. 2 doubles, steak. So that works out to a 1,300 OPS. I'm just saying. But that was when you threw like Roy Halladay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just completely canned that, and you went to your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, why did you want to throw like Roy Halladay? Because you were like a Roy Halladay clone,
Mm-hmm.
the same motion. And then all of a sudden you go, I think you went to the Astros. And they're like, no, we're going to have you throw 4-seamers and curveballs instead of you were trying to throw like sinker, cutter, curveball. Why Roy Halladay? Obviously, I know why he's a Hall of Famer, but what led you to become pitch like him? And then what led you away from that to become your own person?
Well, I think everybody has their own favorite player, right? And like, I think everybody has their own idea of what they would want to be if they could pick, right? Like, especially when you're younger. And I think Roy, for me, was that, especially when I was younger in my professional career. Because as a kid, I wanted to be Smoltz, or I wanted to be, I remember watching Clemens and Pettit in New York. But then when I got to see how tough it was to be a big leaguer, and I got to see how tough it was to be a pro, that's when I started paying attention to Roy. And I just admired him from across the way, just as a pup, right? And then Ray Searage and Jim Benedict, they pulled me inside in spring after I had a 12 ERA the year before. I think I finished with a 7.5, but I got sent down in May with a 12. And they were like, hey, we got an idea for you. We want you to keep your head still and work your arm around your body, drop your slot. And they showed me a video of Roy. And I remember just being in the bullpen and like playing catch and just kind of like remembering what I saw in his body and how it was moving and the arm was moving. And I started messing around with this little tuck because I was just messing around. I did it. And I was like, oh man, that feels actually like, this is great. And I went out for my first outing in spring and the ball was just diving. Like my sinker was just completely different, and I'm getting balls on the ground, and I threw 2 complete games in the first half of the season. And I just remember being a completely different pitcher. So it was like, it wasn't necessarily like me trying to be Roy Halladay. It was me trying to find a version of me that had no options left. It was coming off a 7.5. I had a career, 6 ERA in the big leagues. And I'm just trying to get, I got an opportunity to get into arbitration the following year. I'd had some bad news with my left hip before the season started. I knew I was probably going to have hip surgery within the next year. And I'm coming into spring and I'm like, man, I got to do something. And luckily Ray and Benny, they had something for me. And I had a kind of a North Star in Roy Halladay to kind of like look at and emulate. The following year, I stopped kind of doing what he was doing and trying to figure out some of the things with my delivery, and I blew out my elbow. And so like after 2012, that was the last time I was doing the Halladay tuck. But certainly that gave me an opportunity, that advice and watching the way he worked, that gave me a real opportunity to have a big league career that I look back and I'm pretty proud of.
You should be.
Yeah,
you should be proud of it.
I'm doing all right.
I'm doing all right. What is it like? What was this offseason like for you? What other teams or what other offers did you have out there, and how much? Because before, when I talked to you, I forget where it was, you were like, kind of like it. I'm close to home.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is, and then you went to a couple other teams. So what was this offseason like, and what other teams were interested?
Yeah, the same. I mean, it was the same. The priorities were the same, if not more. It was, I need to be preferably a 2-hour or less flight from home, and I need to be able to stay in my own bed in spring training. And obviously, like you want to be with a group of guys that are good dudes, talented, have a chance to win. And I think in the Orioles, I know Frenchie, our pitching coach. I knew our head strength guy from Houston. I know our head trainer from Houston. I knew and played with a couple of the guys, and obviously the level of talent on this team is exciting. So while I'm like one of the last guys that wants to like bounce from team to team and have to get to know new people and kind of let go of the connections that I've made, I just felt like walking away, and my wife and I, my kids, like we talked a lot about it, and we thought a lot about it, and at the end of the day, in my heart, I just wasn't ready to shut it down with an opportunity like this on the table.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. All right, I got to ask you this story. We're going to go back to a fun time for you, 2017, when you guys won with the Astros. Okay, Game 7 of the CS, right? You started Game 7 of the CS against the Yankees. Or you were on the Yankees team?
17.
You were on the Yankees team that year? And then McCullers came in behind you and threw 57 straight curveballs. And then it gets to Game 7 in the World Series. McCullers starts, you come in and finish it. Have you ever heard why A.J. Hinch made the change? Has he ever told you? Have you ever asked him why he made that change?
The change
To why he flip-flopped you
Flip-flop.
guys in that for that particular game?
I started game 4.
Okay.
So I was on 3 days rest going into game 7.
Okay.
That's the only reason.
That he gave you?
Yeah, I just remember AJ coming up to me, and I remember being out to breakfast with my family that day at Game 7 of the World Series in LA, and I remember seeing Lance walking around with his wife. And I'm looking at him, I was like, that dude's about to start Game 7 of the World Series. Like, and for me, that being in the, like, because I had pitched in the playoffs in 13 with the Pirates. I started Game 4 of the division series against the Cardinals at home, but I never really envisioned myself being on a World Series team. It just seems so surreal. So I'm sitting there, I'm looking at Lance. I'm like, dude, this dude's about to start Game 7 of the World Series. Like, what is going through his mind right now? And AJ, I remember, came up to me at the park because I'm like carefree. I pitched pretty well in Game 4. We lost, but like I pitched well. I'm like, man, I'm available. I know it, but that's not my thing. Like my thing isn't coming out of the bullpen. Like the chances I'm going to pitch and coming out of the bullpen probably not great. So like I'm kind of like, all right, I'm all set. I'm good. And AJ comes up and he's like, we're going to get you in there. He's like, I don't know, maybe in the middle, maybe in the end. I don't know. We'll see. And then that's the only thing that I remember AJ ever talking to me about.
How much? Go ahead.
He tells a funny story because we asked him about it before. I have, and he said, "Well, I wanted Charlie to start because we were in AL." And he's like, I knew Lance could come in throwing sliders at the end against the Yankees. And he says in Game 7, he's like, I wanted Lance to get in bat. I think Lance got a hit in Game 7.
Yeah, he got like an infield swing bunt or something.
So there was like this whole strategy that I was like, man, I didn't even think about that. He's like, but I knew Charlie was going to get in there. But he's like, I also didn't know that Lance would have been so hyped up in the bullpen in Game 7 of the World Series. Like, I knew Charlie would be like this. So I knew if I brought Charlie in any situation in Game 7, that he would be ready for it. And that's how it ended up working out. Lance pitched well. Obviously, you guys scored. You come in, shut it down. You get all the accolades when you close games. No one remembers who starts if you don't win.
Well, it didn't go straight to me, right? I remember Frankie got in there, Liriano. But I remember they got me up, and it's like I'm like 10 pitches into my warm-ups, and they called down like, you good to go? And I was like, oh no. All right. But that's when I stepped on it, and I was like, I got to get going. I'm in this game. And I went in. I remember I was trying to throw absolute hardest I've, I got in there. I can't remember whatever inning it was, and I was trying to throw the hardest I could. And I was like, I had to remind myself, like, dial it back a little bit, dude. Like, you got to pitch, because that Dodger team is still could come back from a deficit. And but I just remember it just kind of started to, like, the cadence of the game for me just kind of started to just fall in place, and it just, like, the tempo of everything was just so different. And then to be on the field for the last out, that was pretty sweet.
It's awesome.
Chuck,
we know you got to go.
I appreciate you.
POD?
Pod.
Of the day? Pod.
Appreciate you coming on, kid.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Appreciate it. Keep doing it.
Thank
Do
you.
it as long as you can.
Be right back with FT.
All right, FT fam. Awesome interview so far. Last segment already coming up, but it'll be a long one. We'll talk about the Twins sale issues, not Chris, ownership issues. And we'll also talk about the Nolan Arenado rumors if we have time. While we have a quick minute here, Kratz, your boys, the Milwaukee Brewers, lost Blake Perkins for, I would say, at least a month and change, fractured shin. So they signed Mark Canha and Manny Margot to minor league contracts. I mean, Canna was a league average hitter last year. I know he's not a big pop guy anymore, but he can give you a quality AB. Margot had a really down year, but he's still young enough to be able to contribute. So not bad when you can sign two of those guys to minor league deals. What are you talking about? What's
That's
wrong?
Scott's boy, Manny Margot. He loved
the
Manny
pinch.
Margot last
He
year.
likes
Just don't let him pinch hit.
Just not
year.
pinch hitting.
Yes, he loved him last year. That
0
was
for
Scott.
35, a major league record.
He's not looking at the list going, this is the spot where we're
That was the spot.
we're getting Wallner out after Wallner had 2 3-run homers. We're going with Manny Margot.
I died a little inside during that game. When I was watching that game, I was texting you guys just losing my mind. But in this case, you have them in camp. That's cool. That's definitely nice depth. Those guys are big leaguers still, in my mind, especially Canna. Big league AB still. Come on.
Absolutely.
100%. I mean, I liked it when he got picked up last year. When you pick up a guy who controls the strike zone, that never ages. Speed ages, power sometimes ages, not that much, but the strike zone discipline doesn't age. And with this, Canna might help some of those young guys be like, hey, I know the strike zone.
Yeah, the ABS challenge. That's what you're referring to, although that's not going to be a thing during the season, but that's a thing during 2026. Ken is probably trying to hold on for dear life to make it to 26 so he can tell umps that he knows the zone better than they do. It's slap. We always slap hands for the last segment of the show, even though we have tons of time. So let's do this right now. Kratz and AJ are in Sarasota. We're talking about news that we didn't get to. And this is a big one, AJ, for your former squad, the Minnesota Twins. I've been like, you know what? They're okay. They're just waiting for the sale. They can't do anything because you want to keep the books stable for the sale to the Ishbia brothers. Well, I'm going to, at least for now, not have to deal with mispronouncing their last name because they're out. The Chicago area billionaire brothers were front runners. Many others were kind of like, yeah, we're not even going to try hard because these guys are going to get the team, and they love baseball. They are out. They drop out. They buy more shares of the White Sox from the existing limited partners that own the White Sox. People think they're eventually going to control that team. The White Sox, at least officially, publicly for now, deny that that will happen. But in this great story from Dan Hayes in The Athletic, AJ, he alluded to how Jerry Reinsdorf saw the news about these billionaire bros looking for the Twins, puts in a little phone call, says want a little more shares in the Chicago White Sox so we can keep you guys over here. And bada bing, it happens. It looks like those shares that are being sold are valued at $1.8 billion, the White Sox shares. And the Twins, it looks like, will sell for about $1.5 billion. But these guys are buying in, and that means they're out on the Twins ownership situation, which is a problem. So I doubt they're going to be sold by opening day. And the poll ads, at least for now, will continue to own the Twins. Your thoughts on all of this weekend drama?
Remember when you got all excited about these brothers buying the Twins? And I said, well, they own a part of the White Sox. They have to sell that first before they'll be allowed to buy the Twins. Well, guess what? I have heard this name in circles before for the White Sox as them being a very small partner. Well, now that they've bought more, would this not be the best thing in the world for the White Sox once Jerry decides to sell the team? Because they would be the second richest owners in baseball behind Stevie Cohen, according to net worth, I believe. So, yes, please make this happen if you're a White Sox fan. Please make this happen once Jerry decides to sell. Please make this happen.
I don't get to work next to AJ very often, but I also don't get to see him that excited. Like, his baby blues got really big, and he's like, I kind of like it. Not just because
I love it. Are you kidding me?
Like, there's so many good things because Chicago is a big market. Whether the Ishbas, if they would have gotten the Twins, they're not coming into a big market. They're coming into a big market, and to me, it would allow the opportunity, it's not guaranteed, but the opportunity for the White Sox to come back to relevance, which the big fella would like.
I love it. I love this. Now, will it happen? I don't know. I don't know how the ownership stuff works. I'm learning more about it on a daily basis, but I think that this would be a great move for the White Sox fans. I mean, again, it has to happen. Jerry has to decide to sell the team. The Reinsdorf family has to decide to sell the team, but I think their net worth is like 20-something billion. I mean, yes, please. Now the question is, could they get a stadium done? Because at some point they're going to need a new stadium, and where is that stadium going to be? So that's going to be the next thing is can they get that done?
I think you're overcooking the net worth. 20-something billion. I think that's more than Steve Cohen is, isn't it? I think they're more in like the 5
together.
to 10.
Together.
I think one of them's worth 5 and one of them's worth 15. I
Really?
think combined.
Damn.
I saw I thought Cohen was in the 30 billions. I thought Cohen was in the 30 billions, and they were in the 20s. Now I could be wrong on that, but I thought I saw that online somewhere when this all started coming out.
You might be right. Okay, but this is really interesting since people think about you and they connect you to the White Sox and to the Twins. The rivalry has a little extra spark to it now because these guys might eventually take over the White Sox, treat them like
Nobody
a big market.
cares.
Meanwhile,
Nobody cares, Scott.
Wait. Don't say nobody cares. Wait,
Nobody
AJ.
cares. You care.
Twins fans have been sitting here all offseason.
Cares, Scott. You care.
No, Twins fans have been sitting here all offseason thinking that this is going to be the lifeboat that comes in and rescues them from decades and decades of cheapness from the Pohlad family and now the third generation here who only is programmed in his brain to say the words revenue and portfolio. They finally feel like they have an out here and that these guys were going to take over the team by opening day. That's gone. Now, other people are going to be in the mix. Sounds like there's other bidders, right, that are going to take this seriously again. But it adds risk to the equation. Whoever owns the team, will they handle it better than the current regime here, the Pohlads? Most likely. Will they handle it as well as the Ishbias would have? Probably not. We've already seen them take over a team, the Phoenix Suns, and treat them like a big market team, whatever that means, right? In NBA terms, right? They go for it. They lower prices for fans with, concessions and stuff like that. They go after big names in terms of players. So this is a devastating blow for Twins fans. They care, dude. When they saw this news this weekend, I wasn't the only one that was crying about it.
Let me ask you this, Scott. There's another team in Minnesota, right, that recently was supposedly for sale, and we all thought a certain baseball player was going to buy him, and then all of a sudden that fell through. How do we know that this didn't happen with these guys, with the Pohlads? They didn't get to a point, and they said, you know what? Maybe we're going to hold on to this team for a little while longer. And the brothers were like, oh, wait, we can go to the White Sox and buy more in them and not have to deal with this, and that's really the team we want down the line? Because I think they're White Sox. Are they from Chicago and they're White Sox fans or something? There's some connection with the White Sox. So maybe that was what happened, because there's nothing, until the papers are signed, there's nothing saying that the Pohlads have to sell the team and they don't have to make that decision. So at any point they could be like, we changed our mind. We're going to hold on to them. And maybe the value will continue to go up. I don't know if that happened, but that is a possibility here.
I think they do want to sell the team, but they might not have agreed to the price. The Nationals had this situation, team for sale, not getting the price they want. They take it off the table, right? Because it's still lucrative to own a team. So you just keep collecting your checks until you get to the price that you want. That's not bad leverage either. So that could have been the case. Either way, it does sound like the team is still up for sale, and Twins fans desperately want a change. I feel like the patience was accepted by Twins fans only because they felt like there was a light at the end of the tunnel, Kratz. Now that at least hits a road bump where you're like, okay, we accepted another offseason, really about 2 years now, of complete nothingness as far as transactions. And now we don't have a guarantee that A, the team's going to be sold, and B, that it's going to be sold to the right people. This is huge for the future of the franchise.
It's huge for the future of the franchise and the fans. But who do you think of first when you hear promises unmet with the Twins? Carlos Correa. Carlos Correa was promised that this team, when he signed there, and I know he had some other contracts that fell through because of the ankle stuff, but he was promised they were going to continue to spend. They went the exact opposite direction. They're not taking money away from him. He's still getting his contract, but he's like a generational type of player that when you signed him, you made a promise, and now they're going back on that promise. And to me, I guess I feel for the player, because his career, all our careers are very finite and short, that
he's kind of not wasting his years because he still can have a good team, but it's just that lie or that shift in approach, and now there's no new ownership, so it's more years of not spending in what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, it's a bummer. It is.
Just to add on to your point, everything has a price. As Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man,
$1 Million
everybody
Man.
and everyone has a price. Listen, you could buy any team you want if you have enough money. If you want to buy the New York Yankees from the Steinbrenner family, and you go in there and blow them out of the water with a price, they'll think about selling it. John Henry will sell it if they were valued at $2 billion. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's more than that. And you offer him $10 billion. Guess what? John Henry's going to think about selling the Red Sox, and he might do it. So if you hit that number, everything has a price.
Yeah. I guess everything does have a price, but with those two franchises that you brought up, they would have to pay you the $10 billion and then keep paying you because that's what those values are just continually going up.
Agreed, but I'm just saying, like there's
always a price.
There's a price for everything. If you want to overpay. If somebody wants something bad enough and they have the money to get it done, they can get it done.
Last few minutes of the show here. I hate talking about this. I feel AJ's pain when we go over certain free agents or trade situations and he gets over it. For me, you know where I've reached my limit, AJ? Nolan Arenado trade rumors. I am so over it. There were more rumors over the weekend. Dude, I feel you. I feel you here. Okay. I understand what you're talking about. When you get frustrated about a certain player, for me, this is what really hits right now. Okay. So over the weekend, there were some reports for some MLB reporters that there were talks kicking up with the Cardinals and the Astros. Arcady Wu, part of Cardinal territory, and also the Athletic, spoke to John Mozeliak. He said, I don't feel anything is imminent. I can't comment or chase every rumor. She also, along with Chandler Rome, reported on the fact that there was like a brief discussion after Bregman signed, but it didn't lead to much. And it sounds like Arenado is still reluctant to even accept a trade if they can figure something out. My guess, AJ, is that the price has changed, that the Astros will not take as much money as they would have a few months ago. That's number one. So that makes it difficult. Number two, you still don't have the okay from Nolan. I wouldn't even waste time right now if I'm St. Louis. I get it. They have to go through the motions, but man, it is just dominating camp too. You're just continuing to feed the media questions to ask the manager, the front office, and the players. It's a distraction, and I don't think it's going to get done anytime soon. So if I'm the Cardinals, I'm just like, all right, anyone call us if you're one of those 3 or 4 teams and you want to take a good chunk of the money. Otherwise, we'll talk to you in June.
Well, he's not going to any of those 3 or 4. What were the 3 or 4 teams? Red Sox, they're not in there. Have too many third basemen, apparently. Dodgers?
Yankees? No Dodgers. Yankees?
No, I know.
No, where he wanted to go. Yeah.
No. I know. The Dodgers don't have room for him.
I don't see the Yankees doing it right now. I don't see him doing it right now. I just don't. I don't see him making that move right now for numerous reasons. You mentioned the Pete Alonso deal where it's 30, but it's really worth 60. Well, I think Arenado would put them over the luxury tax too, where they'd have to pay him double. And I don't think that they think he's worth it. So I just don't think – right now he's stuck. He's stuck.
Does he want to be stuck, though? That would be my question.
What nobody knows, though, because he doesn't really – he just gives the stock like, oh, I'm happy to be in St. Louis. I'm going to be here. But he never really – like, can we get an honest answer from either the Cardinals or him or somebody to say, because if you're Arenado and they're like, we want to trade you, if I'm a player, yeah, it's great that I'm here. But you also are like, man, do they really want me here?
I mean, 24 out of the last 25 years, you say, I'm happy in St. Louis. People are like, of course you are. Place is awesome. If you're Nolan Arenado, you see the end of your career. He could probably play 5 more years. You're still closer to the end than you are the beginning. He wants to win. He wants to win a World Series. And I don't think he's naive. I don't even think Mozeliak's naive in thinking that they're not a World Series contender this year. And so you wonder how much how much are the Cardinals willing to eat? Because it seems like it's going to be more than it was before when the Astros kind of had an agreement and he said no. And where does Arenado really, how badly does he want to win? Because he could open it up to all 30 teams. Who would he go and play for then? Who would be the team that would be number 1 contender for him?
It would be the Yankees. I would think right now with the way rosters are aligned, it would be the Yankees, right? Are they going to – because they're going to have to play DJ at third base all the time, right?
Not all the time.
It's
But
LeMahieu,
Peraza.
it's Peraza, it's Oswaldo Cabrera. Okay.
Yep.
But
Because Jazz is back at second full time, right?
Jazz is back at second, although they said be prepared for third as well, just in case anything changes. Yeah, I don't know how comfortable they feel about those three at third. Also, LeMahieu hasn't been able to stay on the field, so maybe they try things out, see if he stays on the field. If not, they pick up the phone and call St. Louis. I do think Arenado would waive the no-trade clause to go to the Yankees. If he doesn't there, I don't think he's getting traded at all. Right? Like, what else do you want? Team that made it to the World Series.
Detroit would look good.
But he said no, right?
I know.
He said,
no, I know.
my list isn't changing.
Yeah.
You're just speculating on right. Where else could he fit? I mean, Detroit for sure.
We're talking about teams where he could fit.
Yeah. So we'll see. Anyway, I'm over that one.
Seattle.
All right.
I'm over it.
Sure.
Yeah, I talked about it. We could come up with like a little. We can have Claude come up with something like, "Where will Nolan go?" And it'll be like a little like dancing thing. So it'll make you mad. Whatever will make you the most mad, and AJ will make sure we get it in every day.
Yeah, exactly. All right. This is a perfect way for the last minute of the show to do Kratz hats, since we can also thank the Orioles players, the Orioles PR staff, the Orioles, anybody else behind the scenes that helped to make this possible, because it is crappy weather in Florida right now in Sarasota, and the shot looks awesome. After we got through a little bit of the weather stuff with the mic sounded great. Ooh, let's see that one, Kratz. Give me the
When
goods
in
there.
Rome. When in Rome. New Era sent me all the spring training hats, so I've saved the ones where we're going to go to. I mean, I felt like one of the guys. I feel like I'm going to go in and take some swings in the cage after this because I have the hat on, so they're like, oh, he must be still a player. And then they'll see me swing, and they're like, oh, he must have been a pitcher.
Looks nice. That's nice. I like the big OS right in the front there.
Crisp. It's crisp.
Yeah, it's nice. All right, where are we going tomorrow? 30 seconds to spare here.
Bradenton, Pirates. Can't promise Paul.
Who we talking to?
We'll try, but I'm going to try.
Yeah.
Let us know who we should get in the chat. Tell us who you want from Pittsburgh.
McCutchen.
Jared Jones, Keller. Like today, you just never know. Sometimes people just show
Brian
up.
Reynolds.
Brian Reynolds would be great. Never talked to him. Brian Hayes. Shelton.
I would
Derek
love
Shelton,
to.
the manager. There's a whole bunch of Pirates that we could try and grab.
Great show,
All of
FG
them.
fam. BetMGM Futures, we got a few minutes to go, and then you can watch Dodgers territory at a special time since we're doing these earlier times here. 22.5 stolen bags for Trey Turner, who could be the regular leadoff hitter for the Fightin' Phils. Obviously, Kratz has to start here and tell us what to do.
I have to take the under. Stolen bases rarely increase, and he had his first setback of an injury last year with the hamstring. He's still got 19. Figgy, who is their first base coach, is one of the best at finding everybody stolen bases. Everybody. You're having Kyle Schwarber getting 10. You're having guys who are slugs out there getting their bases. So you know he's going to get his easy bases, the ones that won't press him. I just feel like 22. Do they need him to get 22? He has some bangers behind him. If he was hitting maybe like 5th or 6th in the lineup, maybe then I'd say over, because they need him to kind of push the envelope a little bit. They don't need that. You can drive him in from the parking lot with Bryson Schwarber behind him.
I'm going over. Why? Because Trey, run, Trey. Don't make him force you to run. Just run. You're fast as hell. Run. You got cool slides. You can slide cool. You can steal second and third in your sleep. Just run. Just don't be scared and run. So I'm going over.
Yeah, I'm going over on this one if he is a leadoff hitter. If they're batting him leadoff, I feel like this could be one of the last seasons where he can get to somewhere like 30 stolen bags. Certainly capable of it, still fast enough to do it. So I could see him being revitalized in the leadoff spot. How would you define his career so far as a Philly, Kratz? Wavy?
Up and down.
Yeah, sure. I mean, everybody. I think it's been above average. Obviously, I'm taking away a specific set of time, but when he struggled, it was a struggle. And if you say it wasn't mental, then you haven't talked to him or listened to what he says. It was weighing on him. So to me, he has had a great career because since that struggle, since I think August or whatever it was, when they had the standing ovation, July, he has pushed it and he has been everything that they've asked for. All-star last year. People will argue, oh, his defense isn't good enough, but I think it's been an elite contract for them. I know he started out slow, but he's been awesome.
All right,
you know what
FT
doesn't
fam.
play well together and it's time to go?
What?
Water and electronics. So
No, it doesn't. That means we got to
so I'm
go.
unplugging stuff because there's literally plugs and water and things that shouldn't be connected with each other here.
You put it all in rice, so the rice soaks it up.
We're
right?
drier.
That's what you do.
We're drier than the Trop right now. We're drier than Tropicana
Not
Field.
by much, but it's close.
Oh man, let's show the board here. $1.5 million guaranteed poker winter online championships happening now. New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Michigan, BetMGM poker winter open champs. Okay. Go for it. Try and get one of those trophies. Let us know if you're participating and if you see Kratz in there. Kratz did a lot of good work last week. And gambling problem or concern, you can call 1-800-GAMBLER. FT fam, we are sending you to Dodgers territory. So Alana and Clint will take over. We will see everyone tomorrow in Bradenton, Florida at Pirates camp. Good show, peeps. Yes. Get out of the rain, please. Soak it in rice overnight. Get lots of rice.